Hello, everyone. Perhaps you're wondering if you can sponsor a employee to the United States since you're experiencing staffing shortages, or perhaps you're a professional wondering if you qualify for a work visa to the United States, or perhaps you already know that you qualify for an H-1B visa and would like to know a little bit more about the process. Well, this webinar is for you. My name is Jorge Molina. I am an immigration attorney based in Dallas, Fort Worth, and today we'll be talking about the H-1B visas. We'll keep this webinar short. It's the first one of two. And next week we'll be talking about the process of filing for the H-1B. Today it's more of a overall look of what it involves, who qualifies, and what the requirements are. All right, so for this presentation, we have a PowerPoint. So let me share my screen with you. Just bear with me 1 second. All right. Okay, so the question here is, oh, excuse me, I can change something. There we are. Sorry about that. Okay, so there we are. Sorry about that. So the question is, well, what is an H-1B visa? The H-1B visa is, in essence, one of the most popular visas in the United States. It's usually reserved for professionals. Okay, so let's start with the first part, right? So it's one of the most popular ones. So let's put it in context. So every year, these visas are limited to 65,000 plus an additional 20,000 for individuals with master's degrees or higher degrees. There's also certain professions and institutions that are not subject to a cap, but that's a little outside the scope of this presentation. But in essence, about 85,000, including for individuals with higher degrees. So to put it in context, right, there's about 85,000 available, and in fiscal year 2021, there were approximately 275,000 individual petitions for H-1B visas. So approximately 4 times the amount of visas available. And for fiscal year 2022, it was a whopping 308,000 individual petitions seeking H-1B visas. So yes, these visas are extremely popular, and demand far surpasses supply. So so what are some essential things to remember about this? Is that there's a registration period. So for fiscal year 2023, the registration period begins on March 9th, 2022 at noon Eastern time. All right. Now, there's no need for you to submit your registration at that point. It's open for 15 days. And Citizenship and Immigration Services picks petitions at random. It doesn't really, well, according to immigration, it doesn't really matter when you submit the registration. It's picked at random. It's sort of like a lottery. Okay, so that's where we're kept. That's the availability. So who qualifies for an H-1B visa? So in essence, is for professionals. And how are we defining this? Is just either individuals who already have a bachelor's degree from the United States or abroad, or enough experience that would be the equivalent of a bachelor's degree. Not only that, but the position that we're seeking the visa for is considered a specialty occupation. And again, here's the definition is somewhat circular, because a specialty occupation, generally speaking, is a profession for which a bachelor's degree or the equivalent experience is usually required. So, you know, not only is a person applying for the visa needs to have the experience or the degree, but the position itself must customarily require that degree on itself. All right, so what are some of the examples of professions that would qualify for an H-1B? Well, there's not a set list of professions that qualify, as long as we can fit within the definition under the law. But some very common ones are marketing analysts, data scientists, accountants, engineers, educators. Educators meaning teachers, people who work in the school systems, things of that nature. Healthcare workers, we're talking about nurses, doctors, assistants in hospitals, and interestingly, fashion models. But this is not a all-inclusive list. It's just to give you sort of an idea of who would qualify for an H-1B visa. So the process of requesting an H-1B visa is very complicated, but let's try and simplify it. So it requires first to register with Citizenship and Immigration Services, answering some basic questions. And if you're selected during the lottery period that CIS runs at random, then you're eligible to file the petition itself. If you are selected, you submit the documents and it is approved, generally speaking, the visa will become effective on October 1st of that year. So for fiscal year 2023, you would apply approximately in April, and that visa would become available to start working on October 1st, which is the first day of fiscal year 2023. But that's it for today, folks. Again, my name is Jorge Molina. I am an immigration attorney. Next week, we're going to be talking about the process itself of how to apply for an H-1B, what are some additional requirements, what is the process, costs, and where to submit your petitions. If you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us at info@jmolinalawfirm.com. You can always call our office at 469-708-5800. And we'll be happy to answer your questions about H-1B visas. And we'll be happy to help you file if you indeed qualify. Thank you.